Welcome back to oneBURGH Tonight. I'm your host, Brian Carothers, here on 22 The Point, inside the Shenderovich and Fishman studios. Our guest tonight, the one and only Kym Gable.
Thanks for having me, Brian.
I'm so happy you're here. I can't believe you came.
I know, and people have been talking about that I needed to be on oneBURGH for months now, and so here we go.
That's unbelievable.
I put it out in the universe.
You know what's funny is that you're saying that because when you were at KDKA, now we should say, everybody knows, 19 years at KDKA.
19 years at KDKA, 25 in this market.
Yeah, right, because you were on Fox, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do you miss doing that every night? Like, you're sitting down, like we're filming this right now at 6 o'clock. That was kind of your gig. Are you back in the zone, or are you like one and done?
Yeah, I think anytime you do something for a collective 32 years, right? And one day you wake up and you're not a TV news anchor after 32 years doing it, you do miss it.
Yeah.
And so that's going to take some time. What I really miss is telling stories, telling Pittsburgh stories.
Yeah. Well, 19 years, is it fair to say unceremoniously ending at KDKA?
I would use that adverb, yes.
Would that be something that you would say?
That I would say, yes.
Because so here's what happened in my world. I wake up on a whatever day it is, and I'm used to seeing you, let's say, polished, right? Ready for air. You look great tonight, by the way. And I see this picture of you in sweatpants and a sweatshirt, shoulder down. Lindsay Ward, your co-anchor, right? Co-worker. And you're walking out of KDKA holding a box with your stuff in. And I thought, oh my God, Kym Gable stole from KDKA and she was fired.
Thief, yeah. Two thieves in the night, right?
What supplies did she and Lindsay Ward take?
Zero supplies.
Yeah, but that picture
yeah.
is kind of like became like the face of teaching people who enjoy media or just consume it that there is a really dark side to the other side of it, right?
Yeah, it's really fascinating and compelling what that picture meant to so many people not even in the business, and the reaction and feedback that we got after having posted that. And that was our idea, that was my idea.
Okay, let's talk about the picture, right? So take us back. So they tell you that it's over, but that picture looked like it was like an evening. So did you go back? What happened?
So here's the timing on it. We both found out earlier that day. I think Lindsay at 11 and myself at 2 o'clock. But the thing is, at the time, we each thought we were the only one.
Oh, you didn't know who was part of this?
Right.
Okay.
We were both brought in individually, privately. And so we both left the station that afternoon being told that we could come back later and retrieve our belongings from our desks because I just didn't want that spectacle of, you know. So I found out, someone called and said, hey, just so you know, Lindsay was also let go. So we immediately called each other and I said, let's go together tonight and gather our belongings.
And are you buddies before this?
The irony
or are you
is
now united?
we are united now more than ever and have become fast friends. The irony is we never saw each other, right? She worked so early in the morning and I worked in the evening, so our paths never crossed at work.
Oh yeah.
We'd see each other at events and at gatherings and things like that. But so yeah, we went back in that evening. You know, I got to say goodbye to all of the evening folks there.
Right.
And we gathered our things and I said, Lindsay, we need to get ahead of this narrative because it's going to come out tomorrow. You know, we need to tell our story about what happened. And she's like, what do you mean? You know, it was very emotional.
And you've spent how many years telling other people's stories? You know that you have to control the narrative on this, right?
Yeah, listen, that was you know, we had no control over that decision. Somebody else made that decision for us. But what I always tell people, you have control over your individual reaction to it. So I made the decision that night before we went to bed. I think at 2 o'clock in the morning, I posted that. Yeah. And then woke up to hundreds, probably thousands of messages.
Of course. Who took that picture?
Yeah. One
that
of our
was the
coworkers.
question. So you got somebody and you said, let's get this.
And I said, Lindsay, just walk towards the door. And we just walked towards the door, and we were organically talking to each other in the moment. I mean, I think if you look at our faces, you can tell we're engaged in an actual conversation, not a staged one. Yeah. And no makeup on.
But I thought there was like a lot of symbolism too, right? I
Yeah.
mean, you could have gone all in, right? You could have gone newscaster mode where you're both in your normal attire that people are used to seeing, or you could have stood there and posed and did the back-to-back pose or did something, but this was just raw, and I thought it was beautiful, and I thought there was no bitterness towards it. I just thought there was like a realism to it that was really, really excellent.
And we used it too, as if you read the narrative, we used it as an opportunity to thank people, to thank Pittsburghers for letting us tell your story, to thank you for tuning in every night, to thank you for all of the people who said you feel like part of our family. So it was just really important for us to get ahead of it before somebody else made their own decisions.
And
this is reality.
And we have a couple staff people on oneBURGH. That picture started going around text messages, and one person, I said to Amanda, who works for us, I said, zoom in on this picture. There is an Easter egg in here. Kym is either giving the middle finger, there's going to be a message. I was like, look for this Easter egg in here.
That's
and there
funny.
wasn't, or at least we didn't find it.
No, there wasn't anything like that. And, I don't think there was time to even, to even concoct such a nefarious plan, right?
Yeah. And do you miss it now? I mean, do you miss doing the news? Do you miss being in people's, quote, living room?
I do.
Was it an identity of yours for sure?
I think anytime you do something this long, 32 years, it was part of my identity. But, telling stories for me, whether I'm anchoring or whether I'm out in the field, I had a franchise called On a Positive Note, where I featured, uplifting, positive things happening in our community and the people doing them. I know, I never told you that. You were on the list.
You're right. That's when they got rid of you.
You're on the list.
They saw the list and they were like, okay, she's done.
But I miss doing that because, telling stories for all of those years was my way of helping people too.
Yeah.
I saw the peripheral effect, what happens when you tell a good story, especially somebody that needs help, and to have that person, get help because of the story I told. I took that job very, very seriously.
Yeah. And I thought what was interesting was we're now, and we try to consume as much media as possible, right? So Michelle Wright on WTAE, she got the gold watch, she got the goodbye, she got the accolades, while you and Lindsay did not. But that's not the end of anyone's story in this. But I did think that where people would say, these are all women that were removed from KDKA, at least these stories are being changed, that there are different narratives to it. Now, by no means am I saying that this is not a man's world, and the media itself, I think, is very negative towards women. I can't even imagine the uphill battle that you have done and continue to do. But it's good to see that some people are getting their props, right?
It is, and I love Michelle, and I loved seeing that. It was a little bittersweet watching that happen, and a lot of people reached out to me after her farewell video aired and said, "Man, I wish you would have gotten that same opportunity. You should have had your story being told too." And to be honest, I had planned on retiring soon, and it was kind of widely known and shared that I was probably going to do that rather sooner rather than later.
Wait, were you going to resign? Because you were in a position where something was going to have to happen, right? You were
something was going to have to happen.
KDKA.
That was just not offered.
You didn't want to do
that
it,
opportunity. I didn't say that. No, I just said that it was happening soon. But yeah, I was. Just
see what
not
I tried
offered.
to do?
So I know what you tried to do.
Okay, but that was in the future. That was in the grabbable future,
the near
right?
Future. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But what about now? So, if Channel 11 calls, do you want to be back behind the desk?
Not right now.
Or are we moving on to, I know you do so much charity work and so much event work and so much coaching and mentoring. Is that the next chapter, or where will we see you again?
I think that is the next chapter. And I have had job offers from other news stations across the country, not here in Pittsburgh. And, until...
You're always welcome here, too.
Thank you. And until I'm asked, until someone asks you or until someone presents you with an opportunity, I don't want to already have my mind made up of what I'm going to say. I've turned down some opportunities recently. I've embraced some just because of the way it makes me feel. Is that my brand? Is it part of who I am? Is it part of my mission? Is it going to help people?
Yeah.
So, I want to answer those three questions when I'm offered, anything at all.
And look at this, now you're on 22 The Point
I know.
on a Saturday night. You're like, call my agent.
Did I immediately say yes, though, to you when you reached out to me?
100% yes. And I thought, it happened too. It was too easy. She's not coming. And then, here it is.
Yeah.
It happened.
I mean, I asked you today what to wear. Like I was, all
right.
in. Yeah.
And by the way, she wanted to know if is this professional Kym or cool and confident?
Cool casual Kym.
Casual Kym. We were like, cool casual Kym.
So
I think you knocked it out of the park.
I put my good jeans on. So.
Yeah, right. Yeah. So you want to talk about some of the charity stuff that you're doing, and you have an event coming up with Lindsay, right?
Yeah. So I've always, again, told stories that help people. And I used to say when I was out in the field telling these stories, man, I wish there was some way I could help this family. Wish there was some way I could help more people. And I embraced this giving circle concept called Inspired Women Paying It Forward. There was one chapter in Pittsburgh in the North Hills 11 years ago. I went to that, one of their events, and ended up founding the second chapter, which is in the South Hills.
Oh, wow.
We have grown to 10 chapters now, 9 of them here in Western Pennsylvania, and I launched one in Chicago, helped a gal out there in Chicago launch one. So at the end of this year, perhaps early next year, we will have reached $1 million in collective giving to nonprofits that serve women and girls in need.
Amazing.
So that is my passion. I think you can hear that in my voice right now.
For sure.
So yeah, $1 million organic, all volunteer based. 100% of the donations go directly to these nonprofits. So yeah, my heart is in giving back.
I love it. We'll put all the information
Yeah.
up, right? Because what is the next thing? It's coming up.
So we meet quarterly. So
Okay.
April 21st is our next meeting in the South, but there are 8 other ones here in Western Pennsylvania.
it. Amazing.
So Inspired Women Paying It Forward, yeah.
And you said about the one thing that I was thinking about you earlier today. Is there an exhaustion, like when you said that you wish you could help everybody you tell these stories? So, there's a lot of bad stuff on local news.
Yes.
When you go to commercial, is there ever a moment where you just go, oh my God, this
Yes.
is draining?
Yeah, I think there's the assumption that we as people in, journalists in general in the broadcasting industry, we become perhaps desensitized
Yeah.
to some of these, especially of the negative, tragic, traumatic stories. And it's not a desensitization. It's, you really do have to, it is performative.
Of
I mean,
course.
we're not actors, but we're journalists, but there is a performance
Ken
aspect
Rice
to
gets
it.
stern, then
Yes.
he gets happy.
Yeah, yeah.
Right, I get it. I know how it
Yeah,
works.
and I would cry during commercial breaks sometime and have to wipe it off, and Ken would say, "Get it together, Kym," because they're 10 seconds, here we go.
Together.
Yeah,
But these are real things.
Yeah.
I think that's what people lose
Yeah.
focus on, right? That
These
this is
are-
not entertainment. This is really happening.
Yeah, this is life, and we're real people too. And we're impacted and affected by it. I'm an empath. There are a lot of empaths, believe it or not, in TV
Yeah.
news, and it affects us. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't want people to ever think that there's a desensitized aspect to, or that we're cold or clinical or just talking heads.
But there has to be a moment of to not absorb that at the moment has to be freeing for the time being, right? Before you get into your next.
It is, because now I can choose what I'm consuming, right?
Yeah.
I'm not there delivering it. I'm a consumer now, right?
Yes.
So I can choose to consume oneBURGH. I can choose to consume whatever. And I did, and Lindsay did too. We stayed away from social media consumption for quite some time. We're kind of getting back into it now. And,
Yeah.
so yeah, it's an interesting journey.
Yeah. Well, I wish you all the luck. And I want to say that the moment oneBURGH arrived to my parents as a legitimate outlet of
Yeah.
anything was we did something on Kennywood or something, and my mom sent me a message and said, Kym Gable just said oneBURGH on KDKA.
Whoa.
Big, important
Props.
things in my house.
Legit, yes.
Kym, thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
All
I
right,
appreciate your time.
Kym Gable, the greatest. Going to get you back on oneBURGH Tonight.
oneBURGH Tonight. Can
oneBURGH Evening News with Kym Gable.
Can I prop this real
Yes.
quick? The Pittsburgh Women's
What camera,
Expo.
Jordan? Does it matter?
Speaking of Lindsay Ward and myself, there's she and I right there. We're going to be hosting the Pittsburgh Women's Expo March 22nd at the David L. Lawrence Convention Center. Tickets are $10 right now online, so all you gals come and join us.
And should I say Emmy Award winning?
Oh yes, the
Kym
irony
Gable.
is.
Now this is
yeah.
not your Emmy.
It's not my Emmy.
But I wanted Jordan, our producer, to bring his, and I wanted to hold it here as a power move. If it got too stuffy in here, and it went great.
Yeah.
But I wanted to, if there was a power play, I wanted to reach for the Emmy. I didn't need to. She's lovely. It's so easy.
Well, and it's appropriate too because I actually won this latest Emmy after I was terminated. So
I
there's
saw
your
that. That
irony.
had to be just the chef's kiss. Congratulations as
Thank
well.
you.
Kym Gable, thank you. Award winner, thank you. We'll be back with Chef Frank, and we're going to have risotto next on oneBURGH Tonight.